Bill Prebola with us here on the John Mendola Show. Coach, obviously it's nice when you coach your own kid. Probably a little less pressure with track and field. I mean, you could go have some fun. You want him to do well, just like your other son. But in the end, you're here for the student athletes to see what they can do and talk about this experience. And you're just along for the ride.
Yeah, I'll tell you, I've been coaching assistant track and field now for 8 years, and I love the javelin. That is the event that I work with the Tunkhannock kids. This year we have a special group of Tunkhannock kids, and my son Matthew, of course, has been throwing the javelin now for 3 years, but Jack Chilson, Schiller Hammersley, Ryan Harder, and Brian Vaness, there are five, and Matthew, our 5 boys team. These kids work so well together. They've worked so hard, and this year, especially with the COVID issues, we got through the track field with only a couple little bumps in the road, so that was special. The girls' side, we've got Gabby Root, she's a senior. We've got Lorelei Paxton. Lorelei showed up in districts, and she had a great PR by about 7 feet. We've got Carly Lockhart, a freshman. She started off the year slow. There were some COVID issues, quarantine issues. She came on really great. Brianna Groh, she's a sophomore, and she grew this year. And I believe Matt may have told you, but we took 6 javelin throwers to the district, and all 6, 3 boys, 3 girls, had a PR. So I was a super proud coach, and that is what the ultimate with coaching, when your athletes do well.
Yeah, it doesn't get any better. Even though somebody might get a second, a third, a fifth, but you're like, hey, did you get your best throw? Did you get your best jump? That's what all the coaches or the parents and the student athletes are looking for.
And John, you bring up a great point. We've got great parents, we've got great student athletes. So you've got some really intelligent kids. And I didn't mention, but Jack Chilson, #1 in the class. He's one of the other javelin throwers. And I'll tell you, it's great to work because you give them a little instruction, they're smart enough, they pick it right up, and it's great to see them flourish.
Yeah, he's only going to Harvard. That's not too shabby.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Again, I always tell this story. Jack Chilson, he was an 8th grader, went to the Charlie D. Wysocki football camp, and I said, that kid, there's something special about that kid. He had a nice career here at Tunkhannock. More importantly, the academics are just off the charts for him, and he's going to do real well there.
All those kids that I mentioned, the boys and girls, they're multi-sport athletes, which is fantastic because they go from one sport to the other and they just pick it right up. So, and that's a great feeling. And as I said, academics are #1 in our Tunkhannock community.
Let's talk about this sponge, Matt Prebola. Talk about him soaking. When you look at him, he just looks like he's absorbing everything that his dad says. Yeah, the people that have guided him along the way. Minicello, people like that.
Well, and we're lucky in the sense of good kid, hard worker, hungry, and humble. The 3 H's. We always talk about that. So Matt has worked not only with me, and I'm his dad coach, but his brother Billy. They bounce things off each other. Billy throws in college. He worked with Mark Minicello, a Wyoming area guy, Ivy League champion a couple years ago. So they work, technically they're not big, muscle-bound guys, they're small, athletic guys, and they all have the same style, and that works great. We've also, I've taken Matt to some javelin camps, some track and field camps, so there's a lot of people that should get credit for what the kid has done, but ultimately it comes down to the athlete, and the hard work really is now, as a proud coach and father, it's paying off now. We're seeing some great throws. We've had a great spring, a good practice, and now we're going into states, so hopefully we'll keep the string going.
Billy, let's talk a little bit about the coaching staff here at Tunkhannock. Obviously, as you said, you're the assistant, but let's go over to the guys and the girls side, and no one like a veteran like Randy White. He's been around the game for some time.
Randy's been up here. I don't want to embarrass him, but I bet you over 35 years. And Randy's the anchor of the coaching staff here for the boys. We had a pretty successful year. Once again, we had some COVID issues. We had to reschedule a couple meets. We had some bad weather. I know the distance folks did pretty well. Nate Myers is a senior leader. Nate had a pretty decent year. We had some jumpers. We had Tyrese, a sprinter. So all in all, we had a good year. We really didn't succeed as well as we wanted to in districts, obviously, but we still have next year. We got a lot of young kids coming through. Kenny Young is the girls' head coach. Kenny did a great job. I know we had some distance, some sprints, some jumpers. Jessica Cervenak is our sprinter, and she's actually going to states. And I believe she's, I want to say 15th in the 200, but she's 6th in the 100 in the 3A states. So Jessica's a hard worker. I love to see Jessica run because she runs with that determination. So when she works out, we see her here at the track. But when she gets on the competition lane, she just puts her head down, and it's amazing to watch. She's so strong, and she's a great kid.
She has a poker face. When you see her finish at the finish line, she wants it more than anybody. She doesn't always get first, but she's pretty darn good.
You know, I tease her all the time. I said the two best words for Jess are grit and determination, and it really is, and it shows on the track.
Well, you got some nice student athletes doing the job in the classroom, and of course, we're wishing them the best at the state championships. Coach Prebola, thanks for your time.
Thanks, John.